Katherine Schwarzenegger, the eldest daughter of the legendary action star and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, has recently shared intimate insights into the rigorous and unyielding parenting approach that shaped her childhood. In a candid conversation that peels back the layers of one of Hollywood's most iconic families, Katherine paints a vivid picture of a household governed by discipline, responsibility, and an ironclad commitment to self-reliance. Her reflections not only highlight the challenges she faced growing up under such a structured regime but also underscore the profound gratitude she now holds for the lessons instilled by her father. This glimpse into the Schwarzenegger family dynamics reveals how Arnold's larger-than-life persona, forged in the fires of bodybuilding triumphs, cinematic blockbusters, and political arenas, translated into a domestic philosophy that prioritized accountability above all else. At the heart of Arnold's parenting style was an unwavering emphasis on chores and household responsibilities. Katherine recalls mornings that began not with the leisurely indulgence typical of many celebrity offspring, but with a regimented routine designed to build character from the ground up. Every day started with the simple yet symbolic act of making one's bed, a task that, in Arnold's view, symbolized the foundation of discipline. This was no mere suggestion, it was a non-negotiable mandate. As Katherine describes it, the expectation extended far beyond tidying up. It encompassed a full spectrum of domestic duties that mirrored the structured life of a military barracks more than a Beverly Hills mansion. Laundry had to be washed, dried, and folded with precision, curtains drawn to let in the morning light, lights turned off to conserve energy and instill mindfulness, bedrooms and bathrooms scrubbed until they gleamed, and clothes organized in a manner that reflected respect for one's possessions. What made this regime particularly formidable was the enforcement mechanism Arnold employed. Katherine shares a chilling anecdote that illustrates the zero-tolerance policy her father upheld. If children failed to clean up after themselves, their belongings risked a one-way trip to the fireplace. This wasn't hyperbole or an idle threat. Arnold was deadly serious about it. Items left strewn about, be it a forgotten toy, a discarded jacket, or an unwashed dish, were seen as evidence of carelessness, a direct affront to the values of responsibility he held dear. In his mind, if something was important enough to own, it deserved proper care. Otherwise, it had no place in the home. This approach stemmed from Arnold's own upbringing in post-war Austria, where resources were scarce, and waste was not an option. He often recounted stories of his humble beginnings, sleeping in a small room shared with his brother, learning early on that self-sufficiency was the key to survival. By imposing these rules, Arnold wasn't just tidying the house. He was forging resilience in his children, teaching them that privileges came with obligations. One particularly memorable incident from Katherine's teenage years encapsulates the intensity of this parenting paradigm. During her high school days, she was preparing for a semi-formal event, a rite of passage filled with excitement, anticipation, and the thrill of youthful socializing. Dressed up and ready to step into the evening's festivities, Katherine's plans were abruptly derailed by her father's unyielding standards. In a moment that must have felt like a scene from one of his Terminator films, equal parts dramatic and uncompromising, Arnold arrived at the event and whisked her away. The infraction. She had neglected to remove her laundry from the dryer earlier that day. To a teenager basking in the glow of adolescent freedom, this intervention felt like an overreach, a crushing blow to her autonomy. Katherine admits to feeling a surge of frustration and embarrassment in that instant, questioning why such a minor oversight warranted such a public rebuke. The drive home, she imagines, was thick with tension, a silent testament to the clash between generational expectations and the budding independence of youth. Yet, as Katherine reflects on this episode with the wisdom of adulthood, her perspective has undergone a profound transformation. What once seemed like authoritarian overkill now shines as a beacon of tough love, a deliberate strategy to embed lifelong habits of accountability. She credits this strict upbringing with equipping her to navigate the complexities of adult life, from managing her own burgeoning career as an author and podcaster to balancing the demands of motherhood. Katherine, now a mother herself to two young daughters with her husband, actor Chris Pratt, envisions replicating this model in her own home. The cycle of discipline continues, not as a relic of the past, but as a living legacy, adapted to modern sensibilities yet rooted in the same core principles. She speaks of explaining these rules to her children not as punishments, but as pathways to empowerment, echoing Arnold's belief that structure breeds freedom. This parenting philosophy didn't emerge in a vacuum. It was deeply intertwined with Arnold Schwarzenegger's personal narrative. Born in 1947 in Thal, Austria, Arnold rose from a modest, disciplinarian household to become a seven-time Mr. Olympia champion, a feat that demanded monastic levels of dedication. His autobiography, Total Recall, delves into how his father's military background influenced his own drive, a drive that propelled him across the Atlantic to conquer Hollywood and later Sacramento's political landscape. As governor from 2003 to 2011, Arnold applied similar tenets of efficiency and no-excuses governance, often drawing parallels between policy-making and family management. For his children, Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher, this meant growing up in a home where success was measured not by accolades alone, but by consistent effort. The Schwarzenegger household buzzed with motivational posters, workout regimens, and family meetings that doubled as strategy sessions, all underscoring the mantra, "No pain, no gain." Catherine's siblings have echoed similar sentiments in their own public disclosures, painting a composite portrait of a father whose love was expressed through high expectations rather than leniency. Patrick Schwarzenegger, now an actor and model, has spoken about the competitive yet supportive environment that pushed him toward excellence in sports and academics. Christina, the family's quiet achiever, pursued environmental advocacy, crediting her father's emphasis on stewardship for her passion. Even Christopher, the youngest, who faced health challenges early on, benefited from the resilience Arnold modeled. These stories collectively affirm that while the strictness could border on intimidation, it fostered a tight-knit family bond, one where vulnerability was met with encouragement to rise above.